Hello and welcome to another one of D's ADD videos. Today we're going to be looking at some more addition and subtraction of integers, and they're going to be slightly more complex here. Again, the concept is look at the signs. If the signs in front of these numbers are the same, add their actual values and then keep the sign. If they're both negative, your answer is negative. If they're both positive, your answer is positive. So when looking at this problem here, what I see is 12 and I see a 46. So when you add those two values, you're going to get a 58. They're both positive, so your answer is a positive 58. Okay. Here, these are both negative answers, and so at that point what I do is I add the values, but then I keep the sign. They're both negative. And if you remember from the last video, this is the other way I can write the problem. That's interchangeable. They're both negative, so the answer is 58, but negative 58. Okay? And then if you get some decimals, just, old school, line up the tens and the hundredths and the tenths. So here we're going to have a 4 carry the 1. 11 carry the 1 is 6, 261.4. They're both positive, so your answer is also positive. Okay? Now here they're both negative, same values, so we would get a 261.4, but since they're both negative, it would be that. Okay? Now, again, this is another way of writing that question above. The immediate sign directly in front of these are both negative, so I add their values. I already know that. And since they're both negative, it's like that. Okay? That's basically it. So signs are the same. You add the actual values of the numbers, and then you keep the sign if they're both negative. Answer's negative. Both positive, answer's positive. All right, what happens if the signs are different? So if the signs are different, you always take the difference between them and keep the sign of the larger number. You subtract them, in other words. So the difference between 45.2, if I were to just go up here somewhere and write 45.2 and 21.3, subtract the two values. Here I would need to borrow 1, make that a 4, and then that'd be 12, so that's a 9 down here. And then 4 minus 1 is a 3, and then 4 minus 2 is a 2. So 23.9 is the difference. And if you remember, when the signs are different, you take the difference between these two values. Okay? So what is the difference here? 23.9 will be the answer for all of these. It's just some of them will be positive and some of them will be negative. The ones that have the larger number positive will be positive. The ones that have the larger number negative will be negative. So this one, you can see the 45 is larger, so this answer should be negative. Here, the 45 is positive because there's nothing there, so this answer should be positive. So negative and positive. And then this one plus a negative, this one is larger, so it's a positive 23.9. These two are interchangeable the way they're written. Okay? All right, if we're looking at the bottom row, again, the signs are different for all these, so the difference is going to be the 260 minus, actually this is a 20, so their values will differ a little bit. So the difference between those two is 240. Which one of those is bigger? Well, the 260 is bigger, and it's negative because of this sign right there. So your answer would be negative 240. Going back to the money example, your checking account was negative $260 and you put in 20 bucks, and now you're at negative 240. Still in bad shape. Okay, so get yourself a good education, that way you don't ever have to be in that negative zone. So here, of the two, if I subtract 20, I'm going to get 238. Since 260 is larger, that's my answer, and you can see because this 260 is larger that will be the same thing. Okay, I didn't go as much into the concept. Again, this should be a little bit more second nature by this point. Here pretty soon we're going to be doing it with fractions as well as variables, and also using them with multiplication as well as exponents when we do order of operations. So go ahead and get the basics out of the way. A lot of people have silly problems that they re-encounter in higher level math of addition, subtraction issues, or issues multiplying, and they miss the calculus because they don't know their basic algebra. Okay, so don't be in that boat. Make a solid foundation. Practice, practice, practice as always. Make sure you check out the advanced video. Thank you and have a nice day.